Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Mayor of New Orleans, Mitch Landrieu.
My darling New Orleans, my brawling hometown, your magnolia melancholy, how it softly set me down. In water bars.
Oh, how y'all doing? Y'all look spectacular. You did a beautiful job. Look at everybody out there. Give them a wave. Give them a round. How about Roots of Music? They did a great job, don't you think? Ooh. And I want you to thank Derek Tabb and Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews and Allison Reinhardt for leading the Roots of Music. We have great musicians like Terrence Blanchard, Kermit Ruffins, Wynton and Branford Marsalis, Harry Connick, all kids raised on music in the streets of the city of New Orleans, from St. Aug to McDonough 35 to Brother Martin, O. Perry Walker. Music is part of our souls. Music is a way that we express ourselves to the rest of the world. It helps us become safe, peaceful citizens. It's a way to bridge cultures, and Roots of Music is a great example. So if you would give them a round of applause, we thank you very much. And to all of our service leaders, thank you all very much. We appreciate it. You guys did a great job. You ready to take them out? All right, let's hit it. I think you guys are heading off. All right, you guys, thank you all so much. Thank you, service leaders. Thank you, Roots of Music. I want to welcome all of you to the fantastic city of New Orleans and to the state of Louisiana. And I want to begin by thanking Michelle Nunn and Neil Bush of Points of Light Institute for helping lead this effort with. If you give them a round of applause, I would appreciate it. The Corporation for National and Community Service, Robert Velasco, acting CEO, Mark Guerin, who's the board chair. If you please help them be welcome, we'd appreciate it. And we have a couple of very special people. Councilmember Kristen Palmer is here with us today. Also, Mary Matlin and James Carville and Congressman Cedric Richmond have been great. And to my beautiful wife, Cheryl, who served as the honorary co-chair for this event. Honey, thank you so much. You guys did a great job. And of course, the host committee and all the staff members, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming to the city of New Orleans for so many reasons. This incredible city, this place that you know is the birthplace of jazz, the birthplace of music, has suffered tremendously in the first decade of the 21st century. From the tourism trade actually going down to the bottom after September 11, to Katrina, to Rita, to Ike, to Gustav, to the BP oil spill, to the great flood that almost hit us a couple of weeks ago, to the national recession. The people here have really been under it. And I think that you can get a sense from having been here for a short period of time, the resilience of the people of New Orleans who have begun to really weave their lives back and not only kind of get back to where they were, but to start building a city for 21st century America. I mean, New Orleans has become, because of necessity, the most immediate laboratory for innovation and change. And we would never have gotten there without the help of so many people from around the world and around the nation, and all of you who came to use service as a way to help the American people stand back up. And for that, the people of New Orleans will be forever grateful. But the city of New Orleans, because they had to, has started to innovate and to change. We're rebuilding every public school in the city of New Orleans. We're actually beginning to close the gap in test scores between people in New Orleans and the kids across the rest of the state. We've become innovators in healthcare by creating 88 primary healthcare clinics, really a couple of years ahead of the rest of the nation in terms of healthcare reform. And you can see on the streets of New Orleans a sense of vitality and vibrance. Just today, for example, Warren Buffett was here talking about how great New Orleans is and how now it's a great time to invest. And of course, when you look at the statistics in New Orleans, we know that we're having trouble around the country, but in a really strange way, the city has begun to really reassert itself. Our property values are up 9%. Our unemployment rate is a little bit lower than the rest of the country. And notwithstanding all the catastrophic losses we have become a hub for volunteerism and entrepreneurship. And of course, all you guys have been leading that effort. Y'all showed that today. All of you are working on 25 projects across the city. This morning, Michelle Nunn and Neil Bush and I went out to Sam Bonut Park where we began to renovate that park. You guys were at Evans Park, Bunny Friend Park, in the Lower Nime, Sam Bonart, Village de l'Est, and in 25 other parks around the country, actually showing people what it means to volunteer and to serve. I can't tell you how incredible it's been to be part of the receiving end of what you guys have had to give. And because we understand as well as anybody else in the country what it's like to be underwater, what it's like to be under attack from a potential flood, the people of New Orleans want to partner with you and begin to pay it forward. And so just a couple of minutes ago, we sent a team of people up to Joplin. We sent our chefs, we sent our musicians, we sent Homeland Security. With a team of yours to actually make sure the people of Joplin know that we're not going to leave them behind. And that's one of the great things that's happened in the past couple of years. We have to make sure that we actually go to the fire, go to the flood, go to the disaster, and we're there all of the time. And as we become a nation of service, this country is going to get stronger and better. It doesn't really have to be that complicated. My mama told me, and I'm sure your mother told you something like this, the more you give, the more you get. And those of us that are in the business of service and understanding how important it is to create partnerships between the private sector, the public sector, the faith-based community, we all have to give back, because that's what, at the end of the day, is going to make us very, very strong. We have in New Orleans a great initiative. We have a Chief Service Officer, Mary Jo Webster. Our Chief Service Officer is with us today. Mary Jo, thank you so much for your work. And as always, a community has to have something to look forward to. So in New Orleans, what we've done is we've identified the year 2018, our 300th anniversary. Now you got to count right. That means that we were here before the United States became the United States of America. And in 2018, it's going to be our 300th anniversary. So the people of New Orleans have come together under the moniker of one team, one fight, one voice, one city. A community that is giving to itself across racial sectors, geographic sectors, class sectors, and we're coming together because we realize that New Orleans has become a symbol of America's ability to do great things or not. The recovery in this city, as great as it has been, is not a fait accompli. It's not going to happen by itself. And the resurrection and redemption of the United States of America is not going to happen on its own either. There are a lot of folks that want to fight politically this way or that way, and they're having a hard time finding common ground. The service community, the service world, is a place where common ground actually meets. And it's a place where we can show the rest of the people how, if you come together around a cause that is special, all of us can have great joy. And there's no better example than that than in the city of New Orleans when Harry Connick and Branford Marsalis had to come together to find a way to give the musicians a way to continue to live so the musicians could continue to give us life. And so here today at this, you're going to see a video, and then you're going to hear something fantastic. I want you to help me welcome this video from Musicians Village, which is a place in the 9th Ward that we've gone to build so all of our musicians have a comfortable place to live so they can continue to spread their joy. Thank you all very much. God bless you. I hope you enjoy the video and enjoy your stay. Thank you.
5 o'clock in the morning, I'm already up and gone. Lord, I'm so
Well, I'm standing here in the heart of the Musicians Village.
How long can this go on?
We're on the go. We've been working on it for the last 3 years actually, and breaking through the political wrangling and red tape, and it's finally a reality.
A couple of years ago was basically an empty lot that Habitat for Humanity had some plans for, but we didn't expect Hurricane Katrina to come through, which caused our plans to change. I was riding to Houston to go see some people at the Astrodome after Hurricane Katrina, and I was in the car with Branford Marsalis. We were going to go play some music.
Thank you, folks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
We got to talking about what we thought we could do and should do as citizens of New Orleans and two members of this community for many, many years.
In the 8 hours that we were in the car, we wound up talking about what we could do for musicians in the city, and the idea came, why don't we start trying to get Habitat to help us build some homes for the musicians.
A lot of the musicians that were living and performing here in New Orleans were displaced and lost their homes after Katrina, and what we decided to do was, let's build a community that's not exclusively for musicians, but you can have an area that's dedicated in honor of them and get the word out to them and other people as well. If you're a candidate for low-income housing, this is going to be the place that you may want to look. And if you build a big, strong neighborhood as opposed to one or two houses, that's going to influence all the adjacent neighborhoods and really kind of bring the whole area up. Getting it to actually happen was a whole different thing. That's where Habitat for Humanity came in. And all I can tell you is, from a year and a half ago, when this was just a bunch of empty lots, to now, where there's going to be 70 houses, 10 duplex elder-friendly apartments, and the Ellis Marsalis School for Music right in the middle. It's almost like, as I was telling my children on the way here, it's an oasis in this wasteland, which is basically what this area has become after Hurricane Katrina.
And the centerpiece of it would be the Music Education Center, which we're about to build. Nothing like this has ever been tried. The purpose of the Ellis Marsalis Community Center, Music Education Center / Community Center, is to provide a service to the community, not just to musicians, but to everyone who actually lives in the neighborhood. There will be music classes provided by a lot of our elder musicians who are going to be living in these duplexes that are right across the street, right there. They are elderly assisted duplexes. We have a lot of young musicians. I think the oldest musician we have here is 81 years old and the youngest is 22. One of these duplexes will be held for visiting musicians, you know, like, so should Elvis decide to come back, we have a place for him. And the classes would be amazing, I have no doubt about that.
And we hope that these houses and the spirit of this community will bring up this whole neighborhood and set an example for the rest of New Orleans. And we have no one to thank but the volunteers who have tirelessly come to work and donate their time and money to help make this a success.
We had the help of thousands and thousands of Americans and citizens from around the world. And those who did not come and contribute manually were kind enough to contribute with their wallets and make all of this possible.
I'm about ready to go home, y'all.